Hello, welcome to this lecture. So in this lecture, we will discuss the design of two-way slab. In the previous lecture, we have discussed the design of one-way slab, and now in this, we will discuss the two-way slab design. So these are the content that we are going to discuss in this lecture. So basically, I have discussed the difference between one-way and two-way slab in the previous lecture. So two-way slab is a slab in which bending action is occurring along both the span. In one-way slab, bending action we generally consider only along the shorter span. So in case of two-way slab, the bending will occur along this span and even along this span. And therefore, you can see the shape of the slab under the effect of load will be, the deflected shape of the slab is like a dish plate. Similarly, if we talk about the one-way slab, in the one-way slab, the bending is occurring along the one direction only, and therefore bending will be only along one span. That is, in this case, it is along this span. So this one-way slab and two-way slab can be classified based on the aspect ratio also. So if the longer span to shorter span is less than 2, then we classify the slab as a two-way slab. If longer to shorter span is equals to or more than 2, then we classify the slab as a one-way slab. So as I said, such a slab, which is two-way slab, so such a slab when loaded will bend in the shape of a dish plate. So this we have seen. So basically, in case of two-way slab, we provide reinforcement along the shorter span and along the longer span because we consider that bending is occurring along the shorter span and along the longer span. So therefore, to resist this bending, we provide reinforcement in both the direction, which we consider as a main reinforcement. And because of this two-way bending action, because we are utilizing both this span, so therefore the load carrying capacity of the two-way slab is comparatively higher, and also the deflection in the slab will also be less as compared to the one-way slab because bending is utilized along both the span in this case. So two-way slab can be further classified into two categories. One is the simply supported two-way slab, and the second one is the restrained two-way slab. So in our course, we will restrict our focus to simply supported slab only. So I will discuss. We will see what is simply supported. What is the difference between simply supported and restrained slab? We will see that. Well, basically, this simply supported slab is used in only in isolated roof or single room, so or single story buildings. So basically, in this case, in the case of simply supported slab, when load comes on the slab, the corners of the slab are twisted and also they lift upward. So something like this. So when load comes at the center, then these corner will lift up. So if we don't provide any provision to uh, against this lifting, then we call the slab as simply supported slab. So such kind of slab are known as simply supported slab in which the corners are lift up because of the application of the vertical downward load. Now, if we provide restrictions against this upward movement, then that kind of slab will be known as restrained slab. So that is the basic difference between simply and restrained slab. Generally, this simply supported slab are constructed in single house or single story houses, and a restrained slab can be considered. Those kind of slab are provided in the multi-story building where the construction is done above the slab also. For example, if we have first floor and if we have the second floor, so this slab will be restrained against the lifting because of the presence of the floor above. So that is the basic difference between restrained and simply supported slab. So basically, to calculate bending moment in the simply supported slab, we can have, we can refer to table number 27 of the IS code. So basically, we know that maximum bending moment for a beam with UDL over the whole span is WL square by 8. So in this 1 by 8 is basically the coefficient, which is called bending moment coefficient. So when we design two-way slab, this bending moment coefficient 1 by 8 is not same, and it is different, which is dependent on the aspect ratio. So therefore, this value is given uh, in table 27 for different aspect ratio. So we will see this table 27 later when we will be discussing the design considerations. Now, behavior of two-way slab. So we have seen in one-way slab also that generally we design one-way slab as a unit strip, and that unit strip can be considered as a beam. So therefore, all the design process that we have followed in the beam design can be followed in the one-way slab also. And the same we can extend in the two-way slab design also. So basically, as I said, that in two-way slab design, both the span are under the bending. So therefore, we can consider unit strip along the shorter span and along the longer span as well. So in along the both span, we can consider unit strip, and we can simply design this unit strip as a as we design in case of beam. So basically in this, as you can see, when the at any point wherever you cut the unit strip along shorter and longer span, they will meet at a common point where the load so applied is common to both the strips. So therefore, that load can be considered as W, which means W load per unit area. So this W we will calculate in the design example, and therefore bending exists in both the direction. So that is the only difference between one way and two way slab, that bending occurs in two direction. In one way, bending occurs along one direction only. Now, the design procedure of two way slab is similar to one way slab. So all the design process that we have followed in the two way slab, in the one way slab, is similar for the two way slab also. So basically, the thickness of the slab is based on the same criteria as we have followed in the one-way slab, that is deflection control criteria, which means we find L by D ratio, and based on that L by D ratio, we assume the initial estimation. We do the initial estimation of the thickness of the slab, and then we check that thickness for the maximum bending moment. And the slab thickness should also be sufficient for the shear criteria also, although generally slab doesn't fail in the shear criteria. So most of the most of the cases, slab thickness is sufficient for the shear criteria also. So here we will see the slab thickness estimation based on the deflection control criteria. So initial proportioning of the slab thickness, it is adopted based on some of the guidelines which are being provided in the IS code. So we have seen the span by depth ratio for one-way slab. For two-way slab also, span by depth ratio is given in the IS code. And if we refer to this clause, which is clause 24.1 note 2, so slab span by depth ratio is given in there also. So I will show you that in the IS code. So here you can see, if we refer to the clause number 24.1. So here there are notes given. So if we refer to note 2, so here it says for two-way slab of shorter span up to 3.5 meter with mild steel reinforcement. If we provide mild steel reinforcement, then the span to overall depth ratio given below may generally be assumed to satisfy vertical deflection limit. So basically in this L by D ratio for two-way slab, having shorter span up to 3.5 meter, So for that, if it is simply supported slab, then the ratio will be 35. And if it is continuous slab, the ratio will be 40. Similarly, if we are using Fe415 reinforcement, so in that case, we multiply these ratio with 0.8 and we get L by D ratio for the slab with Fe415. So these are being provided in the slide also. So I will show you there. So here you can see for mild steel, that is if we are providing steel of grade Fe250, then the D can be estimated by this ratio, which means L by D ratio is given. I have shown you in the IS code. So L by D ratio is 35 for simply supported slab and 40 for continuous slab. So with this relation, we can estimate the value of D as Lx by 35 for simply supported slab and Lx by 40 for continuous slab. Similarly, if we are using Fe415 grade steel, so in that case we have to multiply this ratio, this value with 0.8, and by multiplying with 0.8 we get 28, 32 respectively. So for different grade of steel we have different ratio. Similarly, if we want to find out the maximum bending moment along the shorter span and along the longer span, so as I said that we generally have strips along the shorter span and longer span, and we calculate bending moment for the unit strip. So if we consider the strip for the shorter span, then bending moment at the shorter span will be considered as mx. Similarly, for the unit strip of longer span, we will be having bending moment as my. So here we are supposed to calculate two bending moment, which is mx and my. Mx is the bending moment along the shorter span, my is the bending moment along the longer span. So in the IS code, in the clause, in the annexure D, we have the direct formula to calculate the value of mx and to calculate the value of my. I will show you that in the IS code also. Now in this alpha x and alpha y, these are basically known as bending moment coefficient. Bending moment coefficient, and they are dependent on the aspect ratio, which is Ly by Lx. So they are dependent on the Ly by Lx ratio. So even alpha x and alpha y can be calculated with the help of aspect ratio. So here, if we know the aspect ratio, we can directly calculate the alpha x and alpha y value with the help of these formula. And even we can directly calculate this alpha x, alpha y value with the help of table provided in the IS code. So I will show you that table and this formula in the IS code. So first I will show you the table. So if we refer to table number 27, table number 27 is this one. So this table I have directly taken from the IS code. So here this table has three rows. First row is showing the Ly by Lx ratio, which is the R value, and alpha x is the bending moment coefficient for mx, and alpha y is the bending moment coefficient for my. So based on these R value, we have different value of alpha x. So now I will show you the same table in the IS code also. So here, if you see this IS code, if we refer to this clause number D2, which is for the simply supported slab. So here in the simply supported slab, the formula for bending moment along the x direction and along the y direction, we can directly find out these formula here. And if we go below, then there we can find the table also. So using this table, we can find out the value of alpha x. This is the same table that we will be using to calculate the bending moment coefficient. So they are dependent on Ly by Lx ratio. So alpha x and alpha y. So for example, if we have say if the value of Ly by Lx is 1.2, so for that alpha x value is 0.084 and alpha y value is 0.059. So by using this formula, we can calculate the maximum bending moment along the shorter direction and along the longer direction in the two-way slab. So now again going to the slide. So now we will see the reinforcement detailing for two-way simply supported slab. We have seen reinforcement detailing of one-way slab. Now we will see the reinforcement detailing of two-way simply supported slab. So here in the plan, these are the reinforcement. So here we provide reinforcement alternately bent up along the both span, which is along the shorter span and along the shorter and along the longer span. And if we cut the section, we get, if we cut the section AA, then here we can have a better understanding of the reinforcement. So this is the bottom reinforcement, which will always be along the shorter span, and these dots are the reinforcement along the longer span. But these are again the main reinforcement to resist the bending moment along the along the longer span. So these reinforcement are the reinforcement to resist bending moment along the longer span. Similarly, these reinforcement are to resist the bending moment along the shorter span, which is MX. Similarly, if we cut the section along section BB, so here you can see these dot lines are now showing on the lower side. So always remember that the reinforcement along the shorter span will always be on the bottom side. Okay, and reinforcement along the longer span will always be above the uh, reinforcement which is provided along the shorter span. So that is the reinforcement detailing. So now in the next part we will take an example and we will understand how do we solve the uh, two-way slab. So we will continue our discussion in the next part. Thank you.